Hi. I know it's been a while. I'm actually really anxious making this video because it's been so long. And if I'm honest, I've been really struggling with the changes happening to my body, to my brain some days. And I guess being in this state of really harsh self-judgment and criticism, which has made it hard for me to want to put myself out there, even though I've wanted to share things. It's been a bit of a battle to push through that. So anyway, step one, here I am today. I just wanted to give a quick update on the energies because I know we're getting bombarded with energy regularly, but this last few days has felt very different. So I've written it down to move through it succinctly. So in Australian time, Sydney time specifically, since the 5th, we have had so we've had a X flare just after 4:30 in the morning on the 5th, and then another one just before 9 a.m. Then I believe somewhere on the 5th, and I'm not sure exactly when, it was later on in the evening, early evening, late afternoon, early evening. I'm not sure specifically what time, but we had another, what I call baseline shift, where it feels like the Earth's vibration has again risen another notch, and something has shifted. We've then, at 10 p.m. had another M flare, and then on the 6th we had another M flare in the morning around 9 o'clock out Sydney time, and then another one at around 3:30 p.m. I'm not sure on the specifics of them, whether there were CMEs, things like that. I haven't had time to really look. But we've had all of those solar energies, plus we have since 5 a.m. on the 6th, so yesterday, had 15 hours of moderate to severe geomagnetic storm. We've had about 9 hours interlude, and we're back into what I class as the rumbling stage, where it's sort of like when you hear thunder. Is it going to storm? Is it not? Is it going to pass? It's that kind of, it has potential to amp up again or calm down. Unsettled, I suppose, like most of us feel at the moment. So we've had those three things. Previous to that period, the Schumann was really doing some nice whiteout sort of blocks, which we know is generally these higher frequencies coming in and simultaneously pushing out the lowest of the low, or the denser frequencies that are no longer going to be able to keep moving forward in these increments bit by bit. Things are going to have to drop off as these new energies come in. And again, anything I'm sharing is just my interpretation of it all, so feel into it and take or leave whatever feels right to you. So in amongst that, we've had the super full moon and all of these other things going on. So there has been a lot happening energetically. What I found really interesting, and I don't know if I'm even onto anything with this, I'm just sharing it because I actually found it interesting experiencing it myself. I've spoken to a few people about it over the last few days, but Saturday morning, I was standing outside on tiles, and I sort of suddenly got the sense that the ground was shaking. Not in any huge way, but I could just feel this trembling or shaking sensation. So I went and stood barefoot on the earth, and my whole body just started trembling. And instantly I got the sense of pressure building, energy building, that's going to need to find a release. My obviously first thought was earthquake or volcano. It was that underground feeling, and earthquake was what felt like it was the answer, or the strongest likelihood. And I had the thought, well, if I'm feeling it this strongly, it must be potentially closer to home, meaning Australia, than further on the other side of the world. Where is it going to be? And it's hard to explain it. Sort of, I heard it but didn't actually hear. In my mind, got the world's biggest fault line. And so me not knowing about any of these things, straight away thought of like the Mariana Trench, or the big fault line in America, what's it called, San Andreas Fault or something like that. Anyway, so I googled it, and it turns out it's called the Sunda Megathrust, and it runs from sort of Myanmar through Indonesia and ends up the top northwestern end off Australia's coast. And so I thought, well, perhaps there's the Australian connection. Anyway, the feeling that I get is that I felt another big tsunami coming for quite some time. I don't know when these things happen. When I've sensed the energy that turned out to be COVID, that was about 2 months ahead, I think. The Tongan earthquake, underwater volcano and tsunami. I think I got the message around that 2 weeks in advance, and made the video posted the video the day before it happened. So timing, I never know. And again, I don't even know if what I'm feeling is accurate. But it's unusual for me to get such specific messages, locations, things like that, especially when I don't understand or really know when any of these things or places. So yeah, my feeling is there's the potential at some point quite soon, perhaps, I can't see it being too far away, of another big earthquake, tsunami along that area or fault line, something to do with that area. So it's one of those things where I hope I'm not right, but it's so strong and so specific. I just felt like I wanted to share. And while I'm here, because I don't know when I'll get the next opportunity, I don't know who to hear this. Everyone that knows this story seems to think there's something a bit magical in it. And I guess it's a good example of soul contracts, divine timing, understanding all of that. As many of you know, I am a mum to a little one. Part of my struggle with that has been my eldest daughter is 27 next month, and I have a 2.5-year-old granddaughter who I absolutely adore, and I have my youngest daughter who's just turned 6. I had always wanted or felt like I was going to have 2 children. That was just my plan from the beginning. And after I had my beautiful eldest daughter, it just never aligned. And, you know, I was divorced very young, and it just, over the years, different circumstances seemed to take me further away from that. And then when I met my fiance, I was 38. I had my child. He had 3 children. We kind of decided fairly early on that that was pretty much not on the cards for where we were at in our stage of life. And I understood all the reasons behind it. I'd just, you know, gone through my awakening and started working, you know, energy healing, all of those sort of things, and learning and working with my intuitive and psychic abilities, all that sort of stuff. So I had a lot going on and keeping me busy. And there was still a part of me that just couldn't let it go. I just felt like this was, it had to happen, even though I thought, well, we've sort of made that agreement now. And I started convincing myself, you know, that I had to let it go. And a friend said to me one day, you know, there's another baby in spirit waiting there, but it's your choice whether you allow it to come in. And I said, I know, I can feel it. And I think I was around 40 at this time. I said, I can feel it. I want it, but I don't know how to say yes to this when in partnership we've pretty much said no. That didn't feel right to, And I said, anyway, it's going to have to happen. If it happens, it has to happen by 42, because then I'm saying that I'm too old to start that whole parenting journey all over again beyond that point. 42 came and went, and I just realized that, okay, I made that declaration, I'm going to have to let this go now, and started to convince myself of all the reasons why it was a good thing that I wasn't going to become a mum again and, have this second child. I just started my business. I was learning more and more about myself, and there was so much to learn and explore on this, new conscious journey that I was on. And it was pretty much, I felt like I had let it go as best I could. I wasn't even really thinking about it anymore. And then 11 days, it's either 9 or 11 days, I can never quite remember, before I turned 43, I found out that I was 5 weeks pregnant. And it was still, I still get emotional. It was such a shock. And I went outside and looked up at the sky and just went, well played, universe. That was a blindside. And then it occurred to me that I technically was still 42. I hadn't factored that whole year of actually being 42 into my way of thinking. So when my 42nd birthday came, I thought it was all over Red Rover, but in actual fact, I had until that last moment before I turned 43, which it almost took. So I was closer to 44 when I actually had her. And in that time, perimenopause has, oh crap, I'm getting emotional. Okay. Rather than just ending it, I'm going to just take a moment. It's been quite challenging because it snuck up on me. I think because I was in that mum phase, and I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to get all emotional. I think because I was so in that mum phase that I wasn't really paying attention to myself, and hence the emotion. So, dealing with the physical changes, and if I'm honest, one single comment left quite some time ago on a video that said, "What happened to you? You look so old." That set off this, and don't get me wrong, I'm extremely grateful for that comment now, but that set off this chain reaction of self-judgment, criticism, being afraid to look in the mirror. And I'm working through all of that. So this is not about sympathy or anything like that. I think I just want to be real about it. So it's been very challenging personally, which has also made it challenging for everyone around me at times. But that's why I haven't really been putting myself out there, because I haven't felt in a place of confidence to do it. And obviously still working through that, but this is a good first step. So anyway, I will talk more about the whole perimenopause side of things, but I will make sure to label that video, so if it's not of interest to you, you don't need to sort of waste time on it. But it is teaching me a lot, and I've had some valuable insights. When I was Googling for information, it seems that somehow higher wisdom made its way to me anyway, which I would like to share at some point. But I would just say that if you're someone that's considering motherhood in your 40s, that just factor in the awareness that the whole hormonal shifts and everything happening with perimenopause, these worlds can collide, and they can make life interesting is a good way to put it. So I don't think that's highlighted enough, and it really did blindside me. And I think had I been more aware of it and better prepared, I'm doing much better now, but it could have just made the whole process much, much easier for me and for those around me, because they probably would have known what to expect and how to support me but protect their own energy at the same time, because I think it's caught them off guard too. So anyway, again, sorry, I didn't mean to get all emotional talking about that, but there's a lot happening around us, within us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't judge yourself so harshly. Find a way to see yourself the way you see those that you love, through that same lens, and be that voice of encouragement and reassurance and love that you are to others, and make sure you turn that onto yourself, because that does make a huge difference in the way you experience yourself, and then the way you can, show up in the world. So yes, I will be doing a free group for the 12-12 energy, and I'll be making details of that known in the next few weeks. So if that's something of interest, keep an eye out for that in your email or here in the community or the posts section. Anyway, this was supposed to be just a quick energy update about the earthquakes, but I'm going to just let it be what it is. And if there's just one person out there that needed to hear any of this, then I'm glad. And I will hopefully talk with you again not too far off, and sending you love and biggest heart hugs until then. Bye.